folks, and welcome to the Joe Morley Sports Show. I am Joe Morley, and today for our team preview, we have the New York Football Giants, right? The New York Football Giants. Been a disappointment lately, but we'll get into them the 2020 season. We'll see how it's doing. So here is their new head coach. A lot of criticism came when he was hired. A lot of people were like, he's a special teams coach. He never really did much. But really if you look at the history of good coaches in this league, John Harbaugh, a couple other guys, they were special teams coaches or defensive coaches. And I think that's what football needs to go back to. I think they need to go back to these guys that do the behind-the-scenes stuff. Don't stop chasing the big-time offensive coordinators, right? Or the young offensive minds, because that's not working out for you. Some of them aren't working out. So here's Joe Judge. He's been with the Patriots, so of course he has Super Bowl rings. He won 2 national championships as a coach with Alabama. I think he gets the Giants back to basics, and that's what it says. Run, run, run. He's going to use his big guys. I think that's what the Giants are going to get back to. Use Barkley. They have a good offense, so I think Judge is going to bring them back to the fundamentals, bring them back to having fun playing football, and that's what they need to be at this point. So here's our team rankings from last year. 23rd offense. It is a lot of injuries. That's what I mean. I don't know if they would have been better if everybody was healthy, but they had a lot of injuries. Defense, it's just not there. They traded Jenkins in the middle of the season, and a lot of the big guys that they brought in just didn't pay off. And some of it has to do with not having the experience. A lot of the guys don't have the experience on this defense. They're just young. And look right here, Barkley was hurt. He missed 4 games, but he was gone for 5 weeks because really he went out early in their one game, and then he wasn't even 100% when he came back. So, and then Tate was suspended for 4 games. So here's the quarterback. Here's the new quarterback of the New York Football Giants, Danny Dimes, right? Daniel Jones. He started 12 games, played in 13, taking over for the Hall of Fame quarterback. He's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, right? You would think that Eli Manning would be a Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, he does have 2 Super Bowl rings. So Danny Dimes takes over. In 12 games, he had 3,027 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Interceptions come with the rookie quarterback, right? 61.9 completion rated. And I don't know if you remember his first game last year against Tampa Bay. What was that, week 3? I remember it because I took Tampa Bay in my survivor pool. If you don't know what a survivor pool is every week you pick a team that you think is going to win, and then you can't pick that team anymore. But if they lose, you're out of the survivor pool. But if they win, you go on to the next week and you pick another team, but you can't double down on the same team. So mine was the Buccaneers, and Mr. Danny Dimes here started his first game, and with a minute 21 left in the game, he decides he wants to run it in for a touchdown, and the Giants win 32-31. So, yeah, I remember his first game. You know what I mean? And he did all this. He did pretty good. I mean, being a quarterback in New York can't be easy, right? A lot of people booed him when he was a number 6 pick. And then he takes over for Eli Manning, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Granted, he wasn't the quarterback that he was. So he was on the downside of his career, but he still took over for a big name guy, right? And then he comes into an offense, a lot of injuries. He got sacked 38 times. So it had to be hard, and it was a hard rookie year for him. Here's my potential superstars in New York. And you might recognize some of them. Darius Slayton from last year, 48 catches, 740 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. I liked him. I thought he did really good. He made a name for himself. A lot of people know him now, right? Blake Martinez is coming over from the Packers. I think this is a very underrated move, and I think New York fans need to realize how great of a signing this was. Blake Martinez, if you watched any Packer games the last couple of years, if any time he was around that ball, if you saw at the end of the play, Blake number 50 was right there. Blake Martinez was right there. He was on. If they weren't calling his name on the tackle, he was right there to miss it. Last year alone, he had 155 tackles. 155 tackles. And then the 2 years before that, 140 plus. So he's around. I'm telling you, he's around the ball. And that's what New York needs. They need a guy like this. They need a ball hawk like this. I mean, 140 tackles, then 150 tackles from a 26-year-old linebacker with 10 career sacks. He's going to be helping you out. This other guy, you probably already know him. A lot of New York fans already know him. Why? Because he was in the Odell Beckham trade, right? This is one of the players that they got back from him. And he's a kick returner. He's a punt returner. He could do everything. He's coming out of college. They didn't have a position for him. He could play wherever. But last year he played, and he put up good numbers. He had 1 interception, 3 forced fumbles, 76 tackles. So he's only going to get better. And this is somebody that I think will be a household name, or should be a household name in New York. So here's your draft picks. Andrew Thomas. A lot of people booed Andrew Thomas, and I told you before. If you've been following me, I told you before the draft that there was 4 top tackles in this draft. 4 top tackles, and they could go at any point, and nobody should argue it. Andrew Thomas went, and people were still arguing with it. But he was, no doubt about it, he was one of the top 4 tackles in this draft, and he probably was the most polished one and the most ready. The other ones had more potential and more ceiling. But he seems to be the more you know what you're going to get kind of guy. Xavier McKinney should have went first round. He didn't. He dropped. I like him. I think he's going to be a nice addition to that defense. Some of these other guys I'm not really sure about. Shane Lemieux I heard a lot about. I think he could end up being a starter this year. So overall, pretty good draft class, right? Not bad. Then we look at your depth chart right here. We already talked about Danny Dimes. We get the Barkley. Barkley is my running back, and I will take Barkley 100 out of 100 times. Fantasy football, overall running back. If you ask me who the best overall running back in the league is, I will tell you it's Barkley. And a lot of people will get mad and say, no, it's CMC. No, it's Barkley. Barkley got hurt last year, right? Had a high ankle sprain. He was supposed to miss 6 weeks. He only missed 4. He came back. Yeah, he wasn't 100% in some of the games. And he went in and out of some of the games. But in the 13 games, 12 games that he played, he still put up 1,000 yards. He caught the ball for 438 yards, and he had 8 total TDs. So, yeah, he was probably like 800 yards off of what Christian McCaffrey had in the whole season, and he was hurt. So, you tell me. You make the argument for Christian McCaffrey. You can tell me down below if you want. But I would take Barkley any day. And I just did a fantasy draft, a mock draft, and I took Barkley number 2. I had the number 2 pick. First pick was Christian McCaffrey, but I was sitting there saying, please let Barkley fall to me at number 2. Because it can go either way. It depends on what people want. But I'm always going to take Barkley. Barkley's my guy. And I'm telling you, they have a good running back in New York, and the best in the league. I was hands down best in the league. Wide receiver core, you can't get much better than that, right? Slayton, Shepard, Golden, Tate. Shepard had only played 10 games last year, 576 yards receiving. Tate, 11 games last year, 666 yards, 10 TDs. Evan Engram, the tight end. That's who they need to get. That's who they need to get healthy and get on the field, because having a tight end like him is a game changer too. He only played in 8 games, started 6, so he wasn't healthy at all last year. Still had 467 yards and 3 TDs. But Evan Engram and this whole offense right here, if Daniel Jones cannot turn the ball over and just be that game manager, do what's supposed to be, get to don't make the big mistakes. This offense could be one of the best offenses. What hurts them, and it's been hurting them for a while, is this offensive line. Nate Soldier was brought in, big money guy. Hasn't been like the main guy. He's not bad, but he's not being that like top money guy, right? Will Hernandez, he did a good job last year. Pooley, Zietler was brought in the trade too for Olivia Vernon. It is what it is. And then you got Andrew Thomas. So hopefully Andrew Thomas will improve this offensive line. And then, like I said, you got Lemieux that could help out. So they're making improvements on this offensive line. Don't get me wrong, but this offense should be a very good offense. And here's where you're going to have your problems. This is why I can't predict the Giants winning a lot of games. This is it right here. I mean, I can shut up and let you look at it, and you could just look at this yourself. Dexter Lawrence, young guy, needs to step it up from last year. Tomlinson, he needs to step it up from last year. Leonard Williams, probably your best. He's good, but there's a reason the Jets traded him, right? Underperforming. He'll step it up with this franchise tag, hopefully. Golden. Now, okay, I'll give you Golden. Golden's a great player, right? What Golden have last year? He had 10 sacks, I believe. 10 sacks, 72 tackles. Whoo! That's probably your best player on defense, right? No, well, now that you got Blake Martinez to go along with him. DeAndre Baker, is he even going to play? He has charges against him right now. They're saying it might get dropped, it might not. So we'll see if he plays. Jabril Peppers, I already talked about. Xavier McKinney, hopefully he steps up, big role. James Bradbury comes from the Panthers. Can he be something? So I think this defense is a work in progress. Probably won't be anything this year, but you will see improvement. There should be improvement. I think there will be improvement, but I don't think they will be I don't even think they'll be in the top 15, maybe not even top 20, but they will be there. And like I said, I preach this a lot. I preach it. Look for improvement. Don't look for wins. Look for improvement. I know everybody wants to win a Super Bowl. I know every fan wants to be like, I want to win a Super Bowl. I want my team in the playoffs. But with improvement comes wins. Maybe not a right away. Maybe not the first year. But with improvement, and you watch your team improve, then you will see the playoffs come. You will see the Super Bowls come. But don't be quick to jump on a coach and say he's a bad coach when there is improvement. And that's what I think a lot of owners and fans get lost in, is they're looking at the win total, and that's what they're looking at, is that win total. And then they go, okay, you're fired. And then they bring in a new coach and have to start all over. And then hopefully that coach can get it done in 1 to 2 seasons, where that first coach was making improvement and he was getting better and better as the season goes on and as the next season went on, but you weren't getting the wins, and so you fired him because you were getting blown out 36-0, 36-7, and then now you're losing games 17-16, 17-14, and so you're right there. You're getting a missed field goal here and there, and you lost the game, and you could have won that game, but you're right there. And now that coach is getting fired because he didn't win those games, but the improvement was there, and that's what I think you need to look at. So look at this defense at the end of this year and tell me, or just look at it game by game and make sure. There could be that one game that they get blown out by a good team, and that happens, but you got to look at the improvement. First week, Monday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Versus the New York Football Giants. I think that's a great matchup. I like that matchup. We get to see Big Ben come back. You get to see what Danny Dimes does. So get to see Barkley on Monday night. I like the Steelers defense. I think the Steelers have a good defense, so it's going to be a good test. It is a good offense versus a good defense. We'll see what happens. Do I think the Giants can pull it off? Probably not. Probably going to fall short, but I think it's going to be a good competitive game, a good week 1 game, and that's what I like about it. Bears, Giants have a great chance of pulling that one off. 49ers, nah. Rams, could go either way. Cowboys, I don't see it. Division games are always tough, though. Giants always play Cowboys tough. Redskins, yeah, you probably get a win there, right? Eagles, I don't see it. Bucks, I don't see it. Redskins, either way. Eagles, you know what? Sometimes you got to give them one game against the Eagles. Bye week, of course. Bengals, Seahawks, Cardinals, Browns, Ravens. Oh, wow. Week 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Wow. That's going to be a tough stretch. You might be able to get some wins early if you're a Giants fan, but that last stretch is looking pretty tough. And I'm not down on the Giants this year. I'm just like, I look at them as a young team, an up-and-coming team that will be there. But it's going to take some time, and this schedule does not help them out. Look at that back end of that schedule. That's a tough schedule. So here's my prediction. Go ahead, eat me up, Giants fans. I'm going to say 4-12. That's my prediction. That's looking at that. I mean, you just saw the schedule. You saw the tough schedule that I just showed you. I mean, that back end, that's five losses in a row, right? So right there, and then that's the Pittsburgh game. I gave you a loss, a couple other ones. So it adds up. I can see a good high. That offensive line staying together, injuries not happening, the defense stepping it up more than expected, 7-9. But then I could see, the same thing as this year. The offensive line underperforming, an injury here and there. Guys go down, and then that defense just not showing up at all. Being worse. Because really, there's only two guys right now that are projected to be like, that you can look at and be like, Golden and Blake Martinez, and be like, those two guys are going to hold this defense together. You would hope Leonard Williams does, if he does. So 3 guys. I mean, the rest of the guys need to show up, right? Whereas the other 8 guys, if they don't show up, then ain't nothing going to happen. So low of 2-14, high of 7-9, but my prediction is the 4-12. Here's our salary cap status of $16 million left this year. Going to have to sign those draft picks. 52 next year. Not a real. I mean, they're free agents. They got to get Leonard Williams and see what he wants to do with the franchise tag. With the other guys, not a lot. I mean, I don't see the free agents that are free agents next year. I don't see them really hurting if they leave the team. But it frees them up some money so they can go and get who they need to get next year, like an offensive lineman or something like that. But 2022 is going to be the year that they come up. But that's also a lot of free agents that year. So I think the New York Giants are an up-and-coming team. Could they surprise us this year, a year earlier than what I think? Yes. Could they take over that division? Yes. The Cowboys and the Eagles are always up and down. You never know what team's going to show up. I mean, the Eagles won 9-7 last year, and they won the division. So it's not going to take a lot of wins to win that division. I don't think any team has improved enough to say that team, the Eagles, the Cowboys, or the Redskins are running away with that division. So I think this is the one division that could be wide open, and it's not going to take a great team to win it. It just takes a good team to win this division. And do I think the Giants have that shot? Yes. Do I think they capitalize it? No. I still think they're probably a year away, probably a couple pieces away from being that average, getting close to the playoffs or right there at the playoffs team. So I think I like Danny Dimes. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. Barkley, I already told you, Barkley's my guy. I will take Barkley any day. I already told you that. So the Giants will be there. It's gonna be close. We'll see what happens. 4-12. Let me know what you guys think. And remember to check out JoeMorleySports.com and all my other stuff, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I appreciate you guys listening. Have a great day.